Hello everyone, and welcome to DB Overland, and welcome to part 2 of our Overland budget build series. Yes, I'm very excited to share this with you guys. In our last video, we talked about acquiring a vehicle or having a vehicle, and I talked about how I'm gonna show you guys how you can make an amazing vehicle that is equipped with everything that you should need to get out and adventure. And we finished the video off with, we need to take our new vehicle that we're going to build, which is a 1994 Toyota 4Runner. We need to take it out on a trip in its bone stock configuration, because then we'll know where we need to improve. And that's what this adventure is right now. We are going to be taking our budget build vehicle out on its first overlanding adventure. So where are we? We are up in Montana, just south of Ashland, and we have an amazing trip planned for this vehicle. We're going to be getting off of the beaten path, hitting some 2 tracks, seeing some amazing views. So come along and join me on this fun adventure where we're going to take our budget build out for the very first time. And I've got my buddy Mike and his 1994 Toyota Land Cruiser. What could go wrong? All right, well, let's hop in and let's head out and let's go have an amazing adventure.
What an epic way to start an adventure. The weather is nice, it's not too cold, the sun's out, actually kind of melting the snow a little bit. So hopefully it doesn't melt things off too much and makes the trail really greasy. This is an all new area for Mike and I, and we're very excited to be here exploring it to see what potential it has, and hopefully we see some amazing scenery, and hopefully we see a whole bunch of wildlife. The 4Runner was doing so well on the trail in its stock configuration, and the scenery so far has been amazing. I can't believe we saw that giant herd of antelope running across the desert. Well, remember how I said that the sun was coming out and kind of melting things a little bit? And remember that famous last words that I said before we took off on the trail?
What could go wrong?
Things are about to get real bad and real dangerous. The trail was going to lead us up and over this hill, and honestly, I didn't think anything of it until I started climbing the hill, and that's when I made my first mistake, and we should have turned around. The sun was starting to thaw the face of this hill, and normally that wouldn't be that big of a deal, but there is a type of mud called bentonite that exists in the deserts of Wyoming and Montana, and when that stuff gets wet, it is an absolute nightmare. The face of this hill was covered with bentonite, and I didn't realize that until I started making the climb up the hill. Now, in a situation like this, normally you only get one chance to make it across the bentonite. And as soon as I realized what I traveled over, I should have radioed back to Mike and said, hey, no go, don't attempt this, we need to turn around. Now that my vehicle disturbed the ground, Mike was having a really hard time getting up this hill. Luckily, Mike was able to maneuver his trailer and the Land Cruiser down the hill safely. He decided to give the hill climb a second attempt, but he engaged his front and rear locker before attempting the climb. I'm very grateful that this situation didn't get any worse for Mike, because there could have been a very high potential of both the vehicle and the trailer getting damaged if he didn't make the hill climb on the second attempt. Now, this is the second part where I messed up. Instead of walking down to go recover the camera, I decided to drive. And when I got to the part where Mike really struggled, I should have definitely taken that as a red flag, and I should have radioed back to Mike saying, hey, this is getting way too dangerous. We need to turn around, instead of trying to continue climbing up and over the hill. Once I retrieved the camera, I turned around and I started heading right back for the hill. Now, clearly I wasn't thinking straight on this whole situation, because in my mind, what I was thinking is, oh, Mike is heavier, plus he's towing the trailer. My 4Runner is lighter. I should be able to zip right back up this hill. But boy, was I wrong. With my first attempt being a complete bust, I knew I was in trouble. For my second attempt, I decided that I would shift more to the right side and try to get out of the ruts and onto what I thought was drier ground. And come to find out, it was not. And actually, I ended up putting myself right on top of nothing but bentonite.
I'm now like this. And I don't want my front end to slide anymore, and I can't get the rear end to slide. Yeah, it's not a comfortable feeling. So I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna turn around and we're gonna head back to the main road that we came in on. This 2-track, if it's dry, would be no problem for this 4Runner, but no bueno with it being all greased up like this. So I'm perched here waiting for Mike to turn around with his trailer. Luckily, there's an area where it's not bad. He should be able to turn around, and so he's gonna come down the hill. We're gonna hook up a strap, and then he's gonna pull me uphill a little bit so I can straighten out. And then I'll back down, turn around, and I think we'll head back. But it's okay, you know, we gotta experience stuff like this in order to know what we need to do with our vehicles to improve on them, right? So here comes Mighty Mouse to the rescue.
Man, all I needed was like 2 feet and I was going to be on dry ground. Now, the plan that we came up with is to have Mike back up, pulling me just up the hill a little bit until I'm on firmer ground. And right here, we found out that his strap is just not quite long enough. And I didn't want him to come down any farther, because then his tires were going to start getting into softer ground. I was going to use my recovery strap, so I was going to retrieve my recovery gear out of the back of the 4Runner, and I don't know why I turned off the 4Runner, but as soon as I did that, that is where everything went wrong.
Found the grease. Found the grease. Oh shit. Yeah, I thought it was gonna roll over on me. Yeah.
Holy indeed, Mike. Now you've probably got a whole bunch of questions like, well, how come the vehicle wasn't in park or the e-brake was set? How come you guys didn't use the winch? Well, Mike's winch at the time, it was broken and didn't work at all. And also, I had the vehicle in park with the e-brake set. That is how dangerous bentonite mud or bentonite clay is. It won't. I just need the front end to go down. We have reached the limitations of this vehicle. I'm sorry I wasn't able to film the recovery. Mike did not pull me out. What just happened was some scary shit, and I'm sorry for the swear word. As soon as I turned off the vehicle, it started sliding. And for a split second, I thought about jump back in, slam on the brakes. But then I realized, no, I'm on safe ground being outside. Let the vehicle go its course. Could it have been a total loss on the vehicle? Absolutely. But my life would have been safe. So instead, I closed the door and I bolted. And luckily, the vehicle slid back a little ways and it went into a dirt embankment. I should have read the signs and gone, okay, we've got a light dusting of snow, traction is gonna be minimum, the sun is out, it's melting the snow, so any ground exposed is gonna be wet, potentially slick. Should we climb that hill? No, we should have not. We should have turned around and decided to go back. But with the 25 years of experience in driving and having another person with me, that would have been that's where I'm like, oh, we got this. We can do this. No big deal. We got this. Even the most experienced people get called out. And with my experience, I got called out. But because of my experience, I was able to stay calm and collective and figure out a plan to get the vehicle out. So anyways, whew. Am I shaking up? I even did this for Mike as soon as I got out of the vehicle. No, I'm not shaking up. It sucked though. It really did suck. So anyways, because it's winter time and light goes down quickly, we decided to play it safe. We're heading back to the main road. We're gonna hop on and we're gonna head out and we're gonna make our way, we're gonna motor our way to our next campsite, which I am very excited about. And the drive from here is going to be pretty much just gravel roads. But it's gonna be scenic. I know it's gonna be scenic, and that's gonna be awesome. So let's settle in and enjoy enjoy ourselves and enjoy the rest of the day. And yeah, now we know what we got to do to the vehicle to help out in a situation like that.
Sucky situation, but now we have data. We know what we need to do. We are off the pavement and we are back on gravel. Yes. All right. Well, camp for us tonight is going to be on the Powder River. And the sign back there just said that we've got 25 miles until we get to the Powder River. And depending on our sun, there's a Forest Service lookout tower that we might go visit and get a really cool perspective of the area. But it's going to be kind of pointless if the sun goes down before we can get there. Unfortunately, adventuring in the wintertime, you are kind of short on daylight, which is a bummer. But that's okay. We'll make it work. Just kind of play it by ear. See what we see. Mike and I decided to skip that point of interest, that lookout tower, just mainly because the light is starting to fade. It's falling in behind some clouds, so we're not going to have daylight as long as we normally would if there wasn't any clouds. And we kind of decided that it'd be nice to get into camp, preferably not too late. It might be dark when we get into camp, I don't know, but it'd be nice if we had a little bit of light getting into camp. So that's what we decided, and here we are. Man, this is gorgeous. You know, even though we didn't get to do any off-road, I was just sharing with Mike, the animals and the scenery alone have made this trip amazing. And you know what? Sometimes just a simple, wonderful, relaxing drive down some gravel roads out into new places, sometimes that's just simply good enough, and that's okay. And honestly, Mike and I are very happy with that on this trip so far. It's been pretty awesome. Well, we finally made it down to the river. The Powder River. So we're back on track, and we should be not too far out from camp. I think we just got a little ways to go, and then we got to cross the river, and then camp is just after that. So, yay! We're getting here before dark. This is awesome. And if it wasn't for the clouds, it'd still be light out, but that's okay. We got here before it's pitch black, and that's what counts. We finally made it. Moorhead Recreation Area. Oh my goodness. Good drive today. Oh, a little bumpy coming in here. Whew, yeah. What a good drive. That was pretty spectacular. I do have to say, I enjoyed that tremendously. And looks like we've got some areas right here. I think I'm just gonna back right in. Mike picked out a nice area, so I think I'll just back right on in. Yeah. But the drive, even with what we had to deal with earlier today, I'm okay. This was a pretty amazing drive today, and I really, really enjoyed it. So just the scenery alone and the gravel, it didn't matter. It was all spectacular, absolutely spectacular, and I loved it. Well, we're here. Time to unload. Let's get some fire going, get some food going, get home all set up. We'll settle in. Bed is all made up. There you go. So I've got my sleeping pad, 2 blankets, down comforters each, and then 2 pillows. I used this last night, and this worked really well for me. I was actually really surprised. I do have a buddy heater. I will not light it right here. I will probably, if I do run it, that's usually where I go in and out of, and so I may put a bottle in it, crack the sunroof, so that way the fumes can go out the sunroof, and then I'll have this up against the door, kind of pointing at me if I need it, but we'll see. Right now it's just kind of a backup plan. So there you go. There's home sweet home. Now this may work for some of you. For some of you it may not work, and that's perfectly fine. So I think now what it is time to do is let's cook some food, because I'm starving. And it's been a long day. It's been a very, very long day. Yeah. What do you think of these little lights? I like them. They're pretty cool. I'll talk more about them tomorrow. So because, oh my gosh, look at the moon. My goodness. Wow. We saw it on the way down here, and it was really bright, and it wasn't even dark yet when we could see it. So I think what I'm going to do for you guys tomorrow is, in the daylight, before we head out, I will go through my setup that I have and talk about it, so that way you guys can see what I brought along on this trip. And honestly, everything that I brought is perfect. I really don't need too much more. So yeah, so I'll share that with you in the morning. Mike's got a fire going. Looks like he's already melted into his seat, warming up. I'm going to get my stove out, and I'm going to start cooking some food. Oh yeah, that's one heck of a fire you got there, buddy.
Yeah, smoke just changed directions.
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
Oh shoot.
Just gonna move over a little bit.
Okay. There you go. Well, sir, you got your drink?
I do. I have an old style.
Cheers to another day, buddy.
You know, I went to Wisconsin to see my my boys over Thanksgiving, so I brought back some Wisconsin beers.
Ooh.
So that's what I brought along.
There you go.
But I brought, you know, the cheap, easy stuff. So I've got old style. I've got a beer that's called DAB.
Dab. Huh.
Or DAB. D-A-B.
Oh, dab, okay.
I never heard of it before, but my son's best friend said his dad drank it in Chicago or Wisconsin all the time, and it's a German beer.
Ooh.
And it's kind of the Pabst Blue Ribbon of the German beers.
Oh,
So I finally found it in the market, brought it home.
Heck
and,
yeah.
It has a unique taste, and I really like it.
Nice.
So I've got old style and some DAP, and then I got some Grain Belt beer, which is like another Pabst Blue Ribbon or Pabst of the
Yeah.
of the Wisconsin. So that's what I'm drinking tonight.
Nice. Well, thank you for being with me on another great adventure.
Yeah.
The drive was amazing. Yeah, we had a little bit of a scary moment today, but we learned. We came away unharmed. Vehicles are unharmed.
Yeah. I lost my gloves.
Uh-oh. I wanted to show you guys this. See this awesome skull right here? This skull is meant to be burnt. There's a guy local in my town that I bought one of these off of it, or sorry, no, actually Mandy bought one of these, and they're meant to be burnt. So we're gonna stick it on the fire and show you guys this really cool skull that's made out of shredded paper and wax. And they said that it should last for about an hour, maybe an hour and a half. So here we go. Oh, those coals are hot. Whew. So it should start burning from the inside, and then flames are going to start coming out through the eyeballs once it goes. Oh, it's smoking. It's smoking. Look at that. There it goes. It's a little hot for it, but they said normally if you put it on a grate so it can kind of be suspended. Look at that. Oh, now the flames are kind of coming through the eyeballs a little bit. Probably can't get enough air to flow through it, but look at that. It's swirling around. Oh, that's so cool. Oh, it's like Indiana Jones in the Temple of Doom. That's so cool. Well, I'm all settled in. Oh, got my sleeping pad. Got my 2 down comforters on me. And I'm pretty good. Unfortunately with this 4Runner though, I can't sleep perfectly straight. So, that's the door. That's the back seat. So I'm pretty much in the corner, and then my feet down there, I'm pretty much in the corner. Which is okay. Just enough. Just enough. Wouldn't work for 2 people, or if it did, it'd be really crowded. But it's just enough. Quit. There we go. Quit moving around. And so last night I didn't have any heat inside the 4Runner, and it got pretty cold. But it wasn't bad. I had my hat on, the blankets, and it was actually only my face that was getting kind of cold. But tonight, I got the buddy heater going. So, I've got it turned on low right now. And I'm not planning on falling asleep with it running. My plan is to get the 4Runner nice and toasty, and then shutting it off and then going to sleep. And then also to help me out, I actually have the sunroof cracked open about 1 inch, and it's about 2 feet long, and that's allowing a lot of the gases to escape out the top. So that way I won't asphyxiate myself inside the vehicle. And yeah, I'm pretty daggone comfortable. So I think I'm going to warm up for a bit and then close my eyes. So I will see you guys in the morning, and we will talk about the performance of the 4Runner today, and then also I will share with you guys what camping equipment and recovery equipment that I have with me on this trip. So, see you in the morning.
Thanks for joining me on our very first adventure with the budget build, which I think went pretty well. Stay tuned for the next video, where I'm going to talk about all of the camping equipment and also the recovery equipment that I brought with me on this trip. Well, until next time, I'll see you guys out on the trail.